Time stood still at the Seoul Space Observatory as the first signs of something extraordinary appeared on the aging computer screens. The dim glow of monitors cast eerie shadows across the empty control room, where Dr. Han Ta-Yang sat alone during his night shift. The clock on the wall ticked steadily toward 3:47 a.m. when everything changed. At first, the signal looked like nothing special, just another blip among the countless pieces of space debris that regularly pinged their sensors. Dr. Han had seen thousands of such signals over his 20 years at the observatory. He almost dismissed it, his finger hovering over the keyboard to log it as routine space junk. But something made him pause. The pattern was odd, too regular, too structured. His eyes narrowed as he leaned closer to the screen, adjusting his thick-rimmed glasses. The signal wasn't random noise. It pulsed with a mathematical precision that sent chills down his spine. "This can't be right," he muttered, fingers flying across the keyboard as he ran the data through additional filters. Each new analysis only confirmed his growing suspicion. This was no natural phenomenon. His hands trembled as he reached for the comm unit. "Get me Director Kim. Now." His voice cracked slightly, betraying the tension he felt. The night shift supervisor started to protest about the late hour, but something in Dr. Han's tone made him think better of it. Director Kim Ji-won arrived precisely 12 minutes later, her silver hair disheveled, and her lab coat thrown hastily over what appeared to be pajamas. She didn't waste time with pleasantries. "Show me," she commanded, pulling up a chair beside Dr. Han. Together, they watched as more data streamed in. The signal was growing stronger. Other observatories began reporting in. First Japan, then Australia, followed by facilities across Europe and the Americas. The pattern was identical everywhere. "Run a spatial analysis," Director Kim ordered, her usually calm voice tight with tension. Dr. Han's fingers danced across the keyboard, and a three-dimensional model appeared on the main screen. What they saw made them both gasp. The signals were coming from multiple points at the edge of the solar system, just beyond Neptune's orbit. As they watched, more points appeared, forming a massive grid pattern that could only be artificial in nature. The mathematical precision of their arrangement left no room for doubt. "My God," Director Kim whispered. "It's a fleet." As if in response to her words, the first message arrived. It cut through all communication channels, appearing simultaneously on every screen in the observatory. The text was in perfect English, though it carried an otherworldly quality in its structure. "To the governing bodies of the planet designated as Earth. We are the Galactic Empire, sovereign rulers of 17,000 star systems. Your world has been selected for integration into our domain. Resistance is inadvisable. You have 6 Earth hours to signal your submission or face immediate annihilation." Director Kim's hand found Dr. Han's shoulder, gripping it tightly. "Contact the Defense Ministry. Then get me the President's office. Use the red protocols." As Dr. Han rushed to comply, his mind raced with implications. The red protocols. Those were the ones they had practiced but never expected to use. They were part of a contingency plan so secret that most thought it was just a drill, a bureaucratic exercise in preparation for an impossible scenario. But humanity had not been as unprepared as the Galactic Empire assumed. For decades, hidden facilities around the world had been preparing for this very moment. Deep beneath mountains and oceans, secret projects had developed technologies that would surprise even their would-be conquerors. Within 30 minutes, the Emergency Response Center beneath the Blue House was fully activated. Similar facilities came online across the globe, in Washington, Moscow, Beijing, London, and dozens of other locations. The carefully laid plans of generations began to unfold. As dawn broke over Seoul, Dr. Han watched military vehicles filling the streets below the observatory. The sight reminded him of his grandfather's stories about past wars. But this was different. This time, humanity faced something far beyond their historical conflicts. Director Kim worked the secure lines, coordinating with other scientific facilities worldwide. Their role now was crucial. analyzing every bit of data they could gather about the alien fleet. Each piece of information could be vital for what was to come. The 6-hour deadline approached as world leaders gathered in an unprecedented emergency session. But unlike what the Galactic Empire expected, there was no panic in these meetings. Instead, there was a cold, calculated response being formed, one that had been refined and prepared for decades. Humanity's first contact with alien life had arrived not with handshakes and peaceful exchanges, but with an ultimatum. Yet, as Dr. Han watched the gathering military response, he realized that Earth's response would surprise their would-be conquerors. The Galactic Empire had made a crucial mistake. They had assumed Earth would be easy prey. They were about to learn just how wrong they were. The underground command center hummed with energy as 500 of Earth's top military and scientific leaders gathered in the vast circular chamber. 70 stories beneath the Pacific Ocean, this facility had remained hidden from the world for half a century. Today, it would help humanity make its stand. General Lee Sunwoo walked slowly to the center platform, his footsteps echoing in the tense silence. The old soldier's face showed the weight of decades of preparation, illuminated by the massive holographic display floating above. It showed thousands of red dots, the Empire's fleet, arranged in an attack formation at the edge of the solar system. "Ladies and gentlemen," he began, his deep voice carrying to every corner of the room. "For 50 years, we have prepared for this moment. Project Guardian is ready." He paused, letting the words sink in. Most people in the room had only heard whispers of Project Guardian. Even among the world's elite, it remained one of humanity's best-kept secrets. Defense Minister Park Dae stepped forward, her military uniform crisp despite the early hour. She had overseen the project's final phase, working tirelessly to bring together technologies that most thought impossible. "The Empire believes they have caught us unprepared," she said, her voice steady and confident. "They are wrong. We've tracked their civilizations for decades." The holographic display changed, showing detailed schematics of Empire ships and technology. "Their technology, while advanced, has fundamental weaknesses we can exploit. They rely heavily on quantum-based communications. Their shields operate on predictable frequencies. Most importantly, they have no concept of our greatest technological achievements." Murmurs filled the room as new images appeared. Massive underground facilities, advanced weapon systems, and technologies that seemed to defy the laws of physics. Earth had not been idle during its years of isolation. While the Empire expanded across the galaxy, humanity had turned inward, developing in ways their would-be conquerors could never have imagined. Ambassador Yoon Ha-won rose from her seat in the front row. She had been chosen for this moment years ago, trained specifically for first contact scenarios. Her calm demeanor masked years of intensive preparation. "The message is ready," she announced. "Shall we show them who we really are?" General Lee nodded, and the chamber's main screen came to life. Ambassador Yoon stood straight, her image being broadcast to every ship in the Empire's fleet. Her voice carried the weight of all humanity as she delivered Earth's response. "To the forces of the Galactic Empire, we have received your message. Now receive ours. We are not the primitive species you assume us to be. We have watched and learned as you expanded across the galaxy. We know your strengths and your weaknesses. Withdraw your fleet from our solar system, or face the consequences of your aggression." As she spoke, Project Guardian activated. Across the solar system, hidden satellites and defense platforms emerged from their camouflaged states. Energy readings that had been masked for decades suddenly became visible to the Empire sensors. In the command center, screens showed the Empire fleet's reaction. Ships began shifting positions, their formations tightening as they detected the previously hidden defense network. Their sensors were picking up energy signatures they couldn't explain, power readings that shouldn't be possible from a primitive world. "They're scanning us," reported Dr. Kim Min-ji from her station. "Their ships are going to combat alert status." General Lee allowed himself a small smile. "Let them scan. It's time they learned that humanity is full of surprises. Defense Minister Park moved to a control panel, entering a series of commands. Activating Phase 2, she announced. Around Earth, massive hidden facilities began powering up. The Empire's sensors would now detect energy signatures far beyond what they believed possible for Earth's technology level. In space, the first visible sign of Earth's true capabilities appeared. A shield of pure energy shimmered into existence around the planet, its technology unlike anything the Empire had encountered. This was humanity's message, not in words, but in action. Ambassador Yoon delivered the final part of humanity's warning. You have 1 Earth hour to begin withdrawal. After that, we will demonstrate exactly what we are capable of. Choose wisely. As the transmission ended, the command center erupted in controlled activity. Decades of drills and preparation were paying off. Everyone knew their role, their purpose. Humanity had hoped this day would never come, but they had made sure they would be ready if it did. General Lee watched the Empire fleet's movements on the main display. The next hour would determine whether humanity would have to fight for its freedom. Either way, Earth had shown it would not be an easy conquest. The Empire had expected to find a helpless, primitive world. Instead, they had awakened a sleeping giant. The warning had been delivered. Now they would wait to see how the Empire would respond to discovering that their supposed easy target had teeth, very sharp teeth indeed. 3 days passed in tense silence after Earth's warning. The Empire's massive fleet hung at the edge of the solar system like storm clouds gathering on the horizon. In orbital defense stations circling Earth, crews maintained constant battle readiness, knowing the enemy would eventually make their move. The attack came during the graveyard shift. Colonel Song Minho was reviewing routine patrol reports on the orbital defense platform Alpha when the alert klaxons blared to life. A battle group of 5 Imperial warships had broken formation from the main fleet and was accelerating toward Earth. Battle stations. Colonel Song's voice rang clear through the station's comm system. This is not a drill. Repeat, this is not a drill. The defense platform's crew moved with practiced efficiency, each person flowing to their assigned post. Years of drills had prepared them for this moment. Through the station's viewports, they could see sister platforms powering up their systems, creating an invisible web of defensive coverage around Earth. Enemy composition? Colonel Song asked, his eyes fixed on the tactical display. 5 ships, sir, Lieutenant Park reported from her sensor station. 1 heavy cruiser, 2 destroyers, and 2 support vessels. Leading ship identified as the Imperial flagship Swift Justice. Records indicate it's commanded by their acclaimed commander Rax. Colonel Song nodded. He had studied the intelligence reports on Rax, a decorated Imperial commander known for swift, decisive victories against primitive worlds. The Empire was sending their best to make an example of Earth. They're launching what appears to be a standard subjugation pattern, Lieutenant Park continued. Tracking multiple weapon systems powering up. Colonel Song allowed himself a small smile. The Empire was following their standard playbook, a demonstration of overwhelming force designed to shock primitive worlds into submission. They had no idea what they were walking into. Let them get closer, he ordered. Wait until they cross the outer marker. Then execute Protocol Aegis. The minutes ticked by with excruciating slowness as the Imperial ships approached. Their formation was perfect, their confidence evident in their direct approach. They weren't even bothering with evasive maneuvers. Sir, receiving transmission from the Imperial flagship, Communications Officer Lee announced. They're demanding immediate surrender and claiming this is our final warning. No response necessary, Colonel Song replied. They'll have their answers soon enough. The Imperial ships crossed the invisible line that marked optimal engagement range. Colonel Song straightened in his command chair. Execute Protocol Aegis. Around Earth, dozens of hidden defense platforms suddenly revealed their true nature. What had appeared to be simple scanning arrays transformed, deploying advanced weapon systems that had remained concealed from Imperial scans. The defensive grid hummed to life. creating an energy matrix that no Imperial ship had ever encountered. The Empire's reaction was immediate but too late. Their ships attempted to reverse course, but they had already entered the trap. The energy matrix activated, and strange ribbons of blue-white light danced across space. "Energy weapons ineffective against our shields," Lieutenant Park reported with satisfaction. "Their targeting systems are being scrambled by our countermeasures." The Empire's response was predictable. They increased power to their weapons and launched fighters. But Earth's defenses had been specifically designed to counter Imperial technology. The fighters found their control systems unresponsive, drifting harmlessly in space. The capital ship's weapons dispersed harmlessly against shields operating on principles the Empire had never encountered. Exactly 17 minutes after the battle began, it was over. 3 Imperial vessels hung powerless in Earth's orbit, their crews alive but their ships completely disabled by Earth's defensive systems. The other 2 had managed to retreat, their engines struggling against the aftereffects of Earth's weapons. Captain Kang Ga took command of the rescue operation. Her ship, designed for just such a purpose, approached the disabled Imperial vessels. "This is Captain Kang of the Earth Defense Force," she broadcast to the stranded crews. "Your ships have been disabled, but your life support systems remain functional. We will commence rescue operations immediately." The Imperial crews, expecting torture or execution, were shocked by their treatment. Captain Kang personally oversaw their care, ensuring they were treated with respect and dignity. Each was given medical attention, food, and comfortable quarters. 2 days later, Captain Kang led the operation to return the crews to the Imperial fleet. The disabled ships were towed to the edge of the solar system, their crews safely aboard. Before releasing them, she delivered Earth's second warning. "Return to your fleet with this message. What you experienced was a mere fraction of Earth's defensive capabilities. We showed restraint in disabling your ships without casualties. Do not mistake this mercy for weakness. Any further aggression will be met with the full force of our defense systems. Choose peace or face the consequences." As the rescued crews returned to their fleet, they carried with them the undeniable proof that Earth was far more than the primitive world the Empire had assumed it to be. The first strike had failed, and in doing so, had revealed just how costly any future attacks would be. Back on the defense platform, Colonel Song watched the Imperial fleet's reactions through their sensors. The Empire had just learned their first lesson about Earth, but he suspected it wouldn't be their last. The Quantum Detection Array facility, buried 2 miles beneath Mount Baekdu, burst into activity as alarms blared through its stark corridors. Dr. Choi Sung-min's fingers flew across his control panel, his eyes widening at the data streaming across multiple screens. "They're coming in force," he announced, his voice carrying through the command center. "The entire Imperial fleet is on the move, counting over 3,000 capital ships, with support vessels still emerging from hyperspace." Commander Kim Tai, he watched the tactical display with calm determination. Where others saw an overwhelming force, she saw an opportunity. The Empire had finally committed their full strength, just as Earth's strategists had predicted they would. "Show me their formation," she ordered. The main screen shifted, displaying the massive Imperial armada arranged in attack positions. Their fleet stretched across space in a pattern designed to overwhelm planetary defenses through sheer numbers. "They're using their standard conquest formation," Tactical Officer Lee Jae-hun reported. "Multiple waves, designed to overwhelm defensive positions through continuous assault." Commander Kim allowed herself a small smile. "They never learned to look beyond the obvious," she said, moving to the central control station. "They still think this is about ships and weapons. Initiate QED startup sequence." Deep beneath their feet, the quantum entanglement defense system hummed to life. It was Earth's greatest technological achievement, a system that bent the very fabric of spacetime. The Empire, for all their advanced technology, had never imagined such a weapon was possible. "QED power at 70% and rising," reported Chief Engineer Park. Quantum field stabilizers are green across all sectors. The Imperial fleet continued its advance, its massive ships moving with precision, born from countless successful conquests. Their sensors probed Earth's defenses, expecting to find the same shield technology that had stopped their earlier attack. "They're launching their first wave," Dr. Choi announced. 500 ships, heavy cruiser class, and above. Commander Kim nodded. "Let them commit to the attack. Wait until they're fully engaged." She watched as the first wave of Imperial ships crossed the outer defense perimeter. Their weapons powered up, preparing to overwhelm Earth's defenses through brute force. QED at full power, Chief Engineer Park reported. "Quantum fields are stable. Ready on your command." Commander Kim took a deep breath. This would be the first full-scale use of the QED system. Target the first wave. Execute protocol scatter. The effect was immediate and devastating. Space itself seemed to ripple around the advancing Imperial ships. One by one, they began to vanish, appearing to wink out of existence as if they had never been there. "First wave ships successfully displaced," Dr. Choi reported, excitement creeping into his voice. Sensors confirmed they're reappearing at predetermined coordinates. Nearest group is emerging near Alpha Centauri. Others are scattered across 50 light-years of space. The Imperial fleet's advance faltered as ships continued to disappear. Their tight formation began to break as commanders tried to understand what was happening. Their sensors, advanced as they were, could detect no weapon being fired, no energy being directed at their ships. "Second wave is hesitating," Tactical Officer Lee reported. "They're attempting to modify their shields, but they can't defend against what they don't understand." Commander Kim moved to the tactical display. "Target their command ships. Let's show them nowhere in our system is safe." The QED system pulsed again, this time targeting the larger ships at the heart of the Imperial formation. These massive vessels, each carrying thousands of crew members, vanished just as easily as their smaller counterparts. Panic began to spread through the Imperial fleet. Ships broke formation, trying to retreat, only to find themselves displaced across space. Their sophisticated technology, designed to counter any known weapon, was useless against Earth's quantum manipulation. Imperial communications are in chaos, Communications Officer Jung reported, monitoring their transmissions. "They can't understand how we're bypassing their shields completely." Through it all, Commander Kim maintained her calm demeanor. "Send the prepared message to their remaining command ships." The message was simple. "Your ships have not been destroyed. They have been relocated to safe distances across nearby star systems. All crews are unharmed. This demonstration shows we can remove your entire fleet from our system at will. Retreat now, or we will be forced to scatter your forces across the galaxy." The remaining Imperial ships hung in space, their confident advance turned to confusion and fear. They had expected to find a primitive world defending itself with crude shields and weapons. Instead, they faced technology that defied their understanding of physics itself. "Imperial fleet is beginning to withdraw," Dr. Choi announced. "Multiple ships are powering up their jump drives." Commander Kim watched as the mighty Imperial Armada retreated, their perfect formation now in shambles. Earth had just demonstrated power beyond anything the Empire had encountered in their long history of conquest. "Stand down QED to standby status," she ordered. "But keep the system ready. They may be slow learners." As the Imperial fleet disappeared into hyperspace, leaving their scattered companions to find their own way home, Earth had sent a clear message. They were not merely capable of defending themselves. They possessed technology that made them a power to be reckoned with in the galaxy. The Empire's miscalculation was complete. They had come expecting an easy conquest and found instead a civilization that had surpassed them in ways they hadn't imagined possible. The lights dimmed in the Global Broadcasting Center as President Baek Jin-ho took his position before the quantum transmission array. His weathered face showed the weight of the moment. Humanity was about to reveal its greatest secrets to the stars. The remaining Imperial ships hung in space like wounded predators, their once proud formation now scattered and uncertain. Their sensors remained fixed on Earth, trying desperately to understand the power that had so easily dispersed their main fleet. In the control room beneath the presidential podium, Dr. Nam Yu-jin worked at her station, her fingers dancing across holographic controls. She was about to activate humanity's greatest achievement. A planetary network of quantum computers merged with human consciousness. This was the true source of Earth's power, kept hidden until this crucial moment. Quantum network synchronization at optimal levels, Dr. Nam reported. We're ready to show them everything, Mr. President. President Baek nodded, his expression solemn. The broadcast began, reaching every Imperial ship within range. But this was no ordinary transmission. As he spoke, the quantum network allowed his words to carry not just sound and image, but direct understanding into the minds of those who received it. To the Imperial fleet and the Empire beyond, he began, his voice carrying the weight of all humanity. You came to our world expecting to find a primitive species ready for conquest. Instead, you found power you couldn't comprehend. Now, it's time you understood why. As he spoke, Dr. Nam activated the full quantum network. Across Earth, massive underground facilities hummed with power as the truth was revealed. The Imperial sensors suddenly detected what had been hidden, a web of quantum energy encompassing the entire planet. While your empire expanded across the stars, humanity chose a different path. President Baek continued. We looked inward, pushing the boundaries not of space, but of consciousness itself. We learned to merge human minds with quantum computing, creating a synthesis of biological and technological advancement that your empire never imagined possible. The demonstration began. Holographic displays appeared around Earth, showing the true extent of human achievement. Underground cities stretched for miles beneath the surface, home to research facilities that had revolutionized human understanding of reality itself. In these facilities, humans worked in perfect harmony with quantum systems, their thoughts flowing through neural interfaces more advanced than anything the Empire had encountered. This wasn't mere artificial intelligence or basic human-computer interaction. It was a true fusion of human consciousness with quantum computing. The weapons you faced, President Baek explained, were not fired by computers or controlled by simple operators. They were extensions of human consciousness, guided by minds working in perfect harmony with quantum systems. This is why you couldn't detect them. This is why you couldn't stop them. Dr. Nan watched the Imperial ship's reactions through the quantum network. She could sense their confusion turning to understanding, and understanding to awe. The Empire had built its power on technological superiority, but Earth had transcended traditional technology altogether. When you attempted to scan our defenses, the President continued, you looked for weapons platforms, shield generators, and battle stations. But our true strength lies in the billions of human minds connected through the quantum network, each contributing to a defense system that adapts and evolves faster than any conventional weapon could. To demonstrate, Dr. Nam initiated a controlled demonstration. The quantum network lit up, visible to Imperial sensors as a web of pure energy enveloping Earth. But this was no mere shield. It was the combined consciousness of millions of humans, working in perfect synchronization through the quantum interface. We do not seek war, President Baek's voice carried conviction. We have never sought to conquer or expand. Our advancement has been in pursuit of understanding, not domination. But make no mistake, we will defend ourselves with power beyond your comprehension if forced to do so. The transmission continued as Earth revealed more of its achievements. Hidden cities emerged from beneath the oceans. Quantum reactors powered by human consciousness showed energy readings that defied Imperial understanding, and transportation systems that bent space-time through the power of merged human and quantum intelligence demonstrated humanity's true capabilities. You came to conquer what you thought was a primitive world, President Baek concluded. Instead, you found a civilization that has evolved beyond the need for empire. We offer you not submission, but understanding. Not conquest, but collaboration. The choice, as always, remains yours. As the transmission ended, Dr. Nam monitored the Imperial fleet's reactions through the quantum network. The ships remained in position, their crews trying to process what they had learned. Earth had not just defeated their military might. It had shown them a completely different path of advancement. The revelation was complete. Humanity had shown not just its power, but its wisdom in how that power had been developed and used. The Empire faced not just a military decision, but a philosophical one. They had found not an easy conquest, but a civilization that had transcended their understanding of what was possible. The next move would be theirs, but Earth had made its position clear. The age of empires and conquest was over. A new era of understanding and advancement awaited, if only they were wise enough to embrace it. The diplomatic vessel, New Dawn, hung motionless in the void between Earth and Mars, its sleek design a testament to human engineering. Inside, the ship's main conference chamber had been prepared for what would become the most important diplomatic meeting in human history. Ambassador Yoon smoothed her formal diplomatic attire as she reviewed the final preparations. The chamber was designed to impress, not with grand decorations, but with subtle demonstrations of Earth's technological achievements. Quantum interfaces hummed quietly in the background, while holographic displays showed real-time data from Earth's defense network. "They're arriving," Chief Negotiator I.M. Da-hyun announced. Standing beside her at the viewport, 3 Imperial ships emerged from hyperspace, their massive forms dwarfing the New Dawn. Unlike their previous aggressive postures, these ships approached cautiously, almost respectfully. The Imperial delegation arrived with all the pomp their position demanded. High Admiral Vec led the group, followed by their chief diplomats and scientific advisors. Their ornate uniforms and decorations spoke of an empire used to displaying its power through grandeur. Ambassador Yoon stepped forward to greet them, her posture radiating calm confidence. "Welcome to neutral space," she said, her words automatically translated by the quantum interface. "We appreciate your willingness to engage in peaceful dialogue." The Imperial delegation took their seats across the crystalline conference table. High Admiral Vec spoke first, his voice carrying the weight of someone unused to negotiating with those he had planned to conquer. "The Empire acknowledges Earth's unexpected capabilities," he began. "We are here to discuss terms of coexistence." Chief Negotiator I.M. activated the holographic display, showing a complete analysis of the recent confrontation. "Let us be clear about our position," he said. "Earth has demonstrated only a fraction of its defensive capabilities. We don't show you this to threaten, but to establish understanding." The Imperial scientists in the delegation leaned forward, their interest obvious as the display showed detailed readings of Earth's quantum technology. One of them spoke up, unable to contain his curiosity. "Your quantum manipulation abilities, they defy our understanding of physics itself." Ambassador Yoon nodded. "We don't seek war," she stated firmly, "but we will not submit to tyranny. Earth has chosen its own path of development, one that differs fundamentally from the Empire's approach." Chief Negotiator I.M. brought up the formal terms on the display. "Our requirements are simple. First, full recognition of Earth's sovereignty and independence. Second, establishment of mutually beneficial trade relations. Third, acknowledgement of humanity's right to develop without external interference." The Imperial delegation whispered among themselves, their expressions a mix of frustration and resignation. They had come expecting to negotiate from a position of strength, only to find themselves facing a civilization whose power they couldn't fully comprehend. "And what guarantees do we have?" High Admiral Vec asked. "That Earth won't use its technology against Imperial interests?" Ambassador Yoon's response was measured but firm. "The same guarantee we have that the Empire will honor its commitments, mutual respect and understanding. We have already demonstrated that we use our power for defense, not conquest." To emphasize the point, Chief Negotiator I.M. activated another display, showing the careful return of all displaced Imperial ships and crews from the recent battle. "We could have destroyed your fleet," he noted. "Instead, we ensured every ship and crew member was safely returned." The negotiations continued for hours, with each point carefully discussed and debated. The Imperial delegation struggled with the concept of treating Earth as an equal, but the evidence of human technological advancement was impossible to ignore. Finally, High Admiral Vec spoke for the Empire. "We accept your terms," he said, the words clearly difficult for him. "The Empire recognizes Earth's sovereignty and right to independent development." Ambassador Yoon allowed herself a small smile as she prepared the quantum-encrypted treaty documents. "This marks the beginning of a new relationship," she said, "one based on mutual respect rather than dominance." As the treaty was signed, the quantum network recorded and verified every detail, making it impossible to alter or deny. The Empire, for the first time in its long history, had been forced to acknowledge a power it couldn't overcome through force. "Chief Negotiator, I am watched," as the Imperial delegation prepared to leave. "Remember," he said quietly to High Admiral Vec, "Earth seeks friendship, not submission. We hope the Empire will come to understand the difference." The Imperial ships departed, leaving the New Dawn alone in the void. Ambassador Yoon stood at the viewport, watching them disappear into hyperspace. Humanity had achieved something unprecedented, forcing a galactic empire to negotiate as equals through the demonstration of wisdom rather than just power. "Send word to Earth," she instructed her staff. "The negotiations are complete. A new chapter in human history begins today." The New Dawn turned toward Earth, its mission successfully completed. Humanity had not just survived its first contact with a galactic empire. It had changed the very nature of how that empire would interact with other civilizations in the future. The crystalline spires of the Imperial capital world, Centauri Prime, stretched toward the purple sky as crowds gathered for a historic moment. Earth's first official embassy, a stunning structure that seamlessly blended human and Imperial architecture, stood ready for its inauguration. Ambassador Shin Ho-jin stood at the embassy's entrance, his diplomatic robes catching the light of the system's twin suns. The past year had transformed galactic politics in ways few could have imagined. What began as an attempted conquest had evolved into an unprecedented partnership between Earth and the Empire. The ceremony began with traditional Imperial fanfare, massive energy displays lighting up the sky, but it was Earth's contribution that captured everyone's attention. A controlled quantum field demonstration created patterns of light and energy that danced through the air, showing the perfect fusion of human consciousness and technology. "Today marks more than just the opening of an embassy," Ambassador Shin addressed the gathered crowd, his words translated instantly by quantum interfaces. "It represents a fundamental shift in how civilizations can interact across the galaxy." As he spoke, Earth's flag rose alongside the Imperial standard, the two banners catching the alien wind. The sight of Earth's symbol flying equal to the Empire's was something that, just a year ago, would have been unthinkable. In the crowd, Imperial scientists watched with barely contained excitement. The past year had seen unprecedented technological exchanges. Earth's quantum consciousness technology had opened new fields of research that the Empire had never considered exploring. "The Empire taught us that we were not alone in the universe," Ambassador Shin continued. "In turn, we showed that true strength lies not in the size of one's fleet, but in the power of innovation and the wisdom to use it properly." The embassy itself was a testament to this philosophy. Its quantum interfaces allowed instant communication with Earth. Its defensive systems were seamlessly integrated with human consciousness, and its very structure utilized principles of architecture that merged the best of both worlds. Back on Earth, Director Kim stood in her observatory, watching the ceremony through quantum-linked displays. The stars above seemed different now, no longer just points of light, but gateways to new possibilities. "Strange how things turn out," she said to Dr. Han, who stood beside her. "They came to conquer us, and instead found a partner they never knew they needed." The past year had seen remarkable changes. Imperial ships now regularly visited Earth, not as conquerors but as traders and scholars. The Empire's vast knowledge of the galaxy complemented Earth's innovative approach to technology, creating opportunities that benefited both civilizations. In the imperial capital, the ceremony continued as Ambassador Shin led tours of the new embassy. Imperial officials marveled at the quantum technology on display, while Earth diplomats learned about the vast history and protocol of the Empire. The greatest victory, Ambassador Shin explained to a group of young imperial nobles, is not the one achieved through force, but through understanding. Earth didn't just survive the Empire's attention. We changed how the Empire itself views advancement and power. The impact was already visible throughout imperial space. Other worlds, inspired by Earth's example, were beginning to explore their own unique paths to advancement. The Empire, learning from the experience, had begun to value diversity in technological and social development. Trade routes between Earth and imperial worlds flourished. Earth's quantum technology found eager markets throughout the Empire, while imperial knowledge of faster-than-light travel and energy production helped humanity reach further into space. As the inauguration ceremony concluded, Ambassador Shin activated one final demonstration. The quantum network created a display visible across the entire capital city, a representation of the Milky Way galaxy, showing Earth and the Empire not as separate entities, but as partners in exploring the vast unknown. "We stand at the beginning of a new era," he declared, "one where the measure of a civilization is not its capacity for conquest, but its ability to contribute to the greater understanding of life and the universe." The crowds dispersed as night fell on the imperial capital, but the embassy glowed with activity. Inside, humans and Imperials worked together, their differences forgotten in the pursuit of knowledge and progress. On Earth, Director Kim made one final entry in her observatory log. "1 year ago, we faced extinction. Today, we've helped reshape a galactic empire. Our strength was never in weapons or ships, but in our ability to think differently."